Coach Frost, can you talk about why tempo is so important for your team in this game, and then how do you reestablish that with a 4-week break since the Pac-12 championship?
Tempo's always been a big part of what we do. Since Chip took over the program, we've used tempo as a weapon. I think this team's been great utilizing that. It's always an important part of our game, so I expect it to be an important part of this game. I don't think the layoff's going to hurt us at all. The guys are in good shape. In fact, the rest will probably help them. The only thing different about this game than other games is there's, I think, 4 more media timeouts. So playing in these games before, there's been a lot of standing and waiting for series to start, which kind of gives both teams a more of a chance to rest. So that'll be the biggest difference in this one.
Thank you. Joseph DiPolito, Medford Mail Tribune. This is for both Royce and Byron. How has Coach Scott's experience playing and coaching on both sides of the ball helped you not only in playing your position, but in anticipating how defenses are going to react?
I feel since he's had experience on both sides of the ball that it gives our offense an advantage because he's seen things that maybe other coordinators couldn't see out there. And he's just helping each position group excel and pick out those little advantages that will help our team.
And I guess more specifically, he takes time out with each one of us, just to kind of go over the plays. We'll be out there at practice doing walkthroughs. It just takes time just with each player, just individually, you need to do this, because the defense might react this way. So just a lot of the time, he's educated and know what he's talking about, so we just go with it.
We'll go right here. Right here. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Bonnie Bernstein, Campus Insider. Scott, I think over the last several years, Oregon's had to fight this reputation of being a finesse team. And I would say that beating Stanford is one of those things that's enabled you to sort of change perception. From a coaching standpoint, can you just talk about how you reflect on that discussion and maybe talk about how you attribute changing the perception?
First of all, I'd say we don't care what perception is at Oregon. We do what we do. We trust our process. I love it when people say we're not tough enough because it motivates our kids. People have said that after we've lost the few games that we've lost in the last 5 years, trying to pick out some weakness, some chink in the armor, and that's fine. I feel like we played several very physical defenses this year. Michigan State's one of the best defenses in the country. Stanford has had a great defense for the past 4 or 5 years. Arizona had a great defense. Thought UCLA was really talented on defense. Utah was one of the best defenses we played. All those teams were physical. We're getting ready to play another physical team, another big team. But the more people say that we struggle against physical teams, I think the more motivated our kids will be and the better we'll play.
Stephen Alexander, Portland Tribune. Scott, can you just talk about what's allowed Royce to come in and make such an impact so quickly?
Well, he's wearing a loose sweatshirt, but if he wasn't, you could see his biceps. The biggest factor in a guy coming in and playing early at our place, probably others too, is their maturity. That's one thing that's really impressed me about Royce from the day he got to campus. A kid has to be mature to handle the emotional ups and downs of playing, to be mature enough to learn the X's and O's in time to play, and all of that on top of being physically mature enough to handle the load. And Royce came in with the right attitude, and his maturity really shone through right from the beginning when he stepped foot on campus. So, he looks and acts like a 22-year-old, and that's the way he plays too.
Jake Sivan, KEZI. Hi. Byron and Royce, Scott just talked about when teams or people in the media say that you guys aren't a physical team and you can't handle physical defense, it motivates you. How does it motivate you when you hear talk of that nature?
I don't know where y'all people getting your facts from. We go out there, we play with the best of teams. Granted, we may have lost one game this year. I don't think that takes away from the fact that we were not physical. I think we just lost the game. You know what I mean? They played better than we did that day, plain and simple. When we go out there, we dominate teams at the line of scrimmage, in the pass game and the run game on defense. So where all this talk from, oh, they're not physical, they're a finesse team. But, like, we're fast and we're spread out, but we can play with anybody. Yeah, I don't know where you guys are coming up with this.
Yeah, just to kind of reiterate what Byron said, it's just something that people resort to when we lose, something they pick at, trying to say that we're a finesse team, things like that. But ultimately, I don't think that of our team at all. I mean, we have a lot of tough guys out there, and we play really tough out there.
Ted Miller, ESPN.com. Scott, are there some tangible ways that you can tell us that Coach Helfrich's changed in year 2 compared to his rookie season?
You know, Ted, one of the things I really appreciate about working for Mark is he's the same guy every day when you come to work. We have an environment that I think is unique, that we take our job seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. I think there's more enjoyment and laughing in our football building than almost any football building in the country. So every day you show up, you're going to get the same Coach Helfrich. We've altered a few things this year. I think probably the biggest thing that's been altered, other than evolving offenses and defenses, is I think Coach Helfrich has done a good job this year making sure the guys are rested. We practice really hard and really fast, and I think in years past we might have worked them a little too hard and had a tired team at the end of the year. We really focused on trying to give them a break and keeping them fresh this year, and our team has played its best football at the end of the season.
AJ Jacobson with Rivals.com. Coach, how's college football changed since you made your national championship run with Nebraska?
Well, college football changes every year. You know, the way teams approach the game are changing. Offenses change, defenses change. I think Oregon's done as much to change what college football looks like as any team in the country, and it's been fun to be a part of that. That being said, some things stay the same. I've said this before. I think, you know, every year there's 8 to 12 teams that are probably good enough to compete for a national title, and the ball's got to bounce right for you to get there and for you to win it. I think this playoff's going to show that. You know, there's 4 teams that are in this. There probably are more that could win against any of these teams on any given day. Now with these 4 teams in it, you know, things are going to have to go right. You're going to have to play well, and you might have to catch a couple bounces. But all you can do as a team is try to put yourself in this situation where you have a chance.
We have a question over on the left.
Jeff Schultz of the Atlanta Constitution. Scott, when you see film of Jameis Winston, does he look like a different quarterback late in games than he does early in games? And as a follow-up to that, how do you think he projects at the next level?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't watch Jameis Winston on tape. I haven't watched one snap of Florida State's offense on tape. I'm worried about their D. Got a lot of respect for Jameis Winston as a football player. But other than that, you know, I don't get to watch him. I could answer a lot of questions for you about their defense.
Ivan?
Ivan Mazel, ESPN.com. This is for Scott and Royce. What has Coach Campbell's stability and experience meant to the program, and specifically, Royce, to you?
Just to me as a player, being my first year under Coach Cam, he's taught me a lot. Just seeing him more as also a father figure to me, just a lot of trust that I have in him, and seeing the results, such as Byron here beside me, the things he taught me, like the things he stressed, is just it just really means a lot as a player, because I just want to play hard for him out there, and I know he's got my back.
We'll take one more question in here before we do breakouts. Right up. Oh, sorry, Ivan.
You know, with the running backs that we've had at Oregon, Coach Cam deserves a ton of credit for that. The guys he's recruited, from Jonathan Stewart to Michael James, to Anthony Thomas, these 2 guys sitting next to me, Thomas Tyner, and even going forward. Coach Cam's the type of guy that's a father figure, in my opinion, to his players, and guys want to play for him, and he gets the best out of them.
Bruce Feldman, Fox Sports. Scott, we've seen a lot about Marcus's 38-2 touchdown interception
ratio. As a former quarterback or as an offensive coordinator, I know it has a lot to do with decision making, but can you put into context how kind of staggering that number is? Because it's like nothing else we've seen with quarterbacks.
It's hard for me to relate. I didn't throw enough times to have 38 touchdowns in 20 years. You know, I'll go back to this. I think he's as good a decision maker as I've ever seen on a football field. It speaks to his intellect. It speaks to how quick he can process things. I think that's his best asset, aside from everything else he does, is how quick he recognizes and reacts. You know, there's times I'm watching as a coach, either behind him in practice or from the box on the field, and you know, I look at what the defense is doing and see him react, and then decide that's where the ball should go, and it's already there. He continues to amaze me in that way. You know, I'm sure there's some good fortune involved with that. He's only really had one or two plays where a ball's gotten tipped, or in one case thrown back in bounds for an interception. It's very rare that he's going to put the ball in the wrong spot. He's accurate, he thinks well, processes fast, and makes the right decision all the time.